What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to JustNutz, guys. Today, I'm bringing you a SPRINGANS deck profile. This is a really cool deck, in my opinion. I've always liked SPRINGANS, and unfortunately, they are like the only, whatever you want to call it, Albaz / Ecclesia lore deck that Konami did not want to make good, and it honestly feels like some of their cards they specifically tried not to make them good. And I'll probably make a video about that pretty soon. But today we're looking at a 60 card variant. This card is splashed with multiple other engines. I think that if you want to play this deck at the most competitive level that it can be played at, the SPRINGANS stuff at least, you have to play it in a version like this. It doesn't hold up power wise enough on its own to really make it happen, but this version does kind of make it get things done. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Starting off with our SPRINGANS line. Oh, also before we even get into it, shout out to 3 Stacks. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, I believe it's called Team Kings of Games, please check him out. He gave me the idea for this. The lists are somewhat similar, not entirely the same. I had some ratio differences and things like that there. So feel free to check out his list as well. He gave me the inspiration to go ahead and build SPRINGANS again in this manner. All right, starting off with the SPRINGANS lineup in the main, we've got triple copies of Rocky, triple copies of Branga, double Brothers, double Pedor, and then on the last little slot here, we have 1 copy of Captain Sargus. This isn't too crazy. I really like Rocky. I've seen some people not play 3 Rocky. I think Rocky's potentially the best one. Branga's good. I don't know. What I really like is that you have really easy access to Brothers, but if you start looping these, you actually you can literally loop these every turn. The goal is, as long as you get the field spell up, you're adding back Brothers, and so every turn you're able to go field spell, discard, as long as Rocky's in grave, right? That's the idea. So turn 1 you'd be field spell, discard Rocky, summon Merrymaker, Merrymaker sends Brothers, Brothers summons back Rocky, and then Rocky adds back the Brothers, and now you can normal summon it to make a rank 4. So just the field spell and Rocky actually gets you the Merrymaker plus a rank 4, which is actually not too shabby for a little 2-card play there. And then of course they can continue to loop as the duel goes on. But yep, Branga gets you searches from grave. This card could have been a lot better, but it's decent. Brother's obviously good. Pedor, I'd never find myself trying to use Pedor, but he's a name, whatever. And then the 1 Sargus. Sargus is good because sometimes you just set him up with his pop effect. But other than that, that's it. You do have to play a certain number of SPRINGANS names because you do need to be discarding a SPRINGANS card off the field spell, and that is where sometimes the consistency in the deck can be a little wonky, but I didn't run into that too much at locals today. So I think this list does a pretty good job. All right, then we have our scrap package. We're on triple scrap Raptor, triple scrap recycler. We'll throw the Rosenix there as the Rosenix as an honorary scrap card, and then the scrap golem finishing it out. Playing the golem, I think you have to play the golem. The combo is not nearly as strong if you're not able to play something like golem, and yeah, you have to play the Rosenix because you need to get into the link, and you can't get in the link without the extra body. So you pretty much just go Raptor into Recycler, or if you hard open Recycler, send the Rosenix, get a token, make the link, and then kind of pop off from there. Might make a combo video after this if you guys are really that interested in it, but we'll see. It's pretty basic stuff. It's not anything insane. You pretty much just end up summoning Golem, Recycler with the second send for a SPRINGANS card if you want. And you have the link 2, and then you just make Curious the Lightsworn link 3, and then he gets you a send for Quatless or anything else you might want, and go from there. For Dogmatica stuff, 2 Ecclesia, 1 Maximus. You don't necessarily have to play this stuff. I think it's pretty good. I would recommend playing it, but I wouldn't say you have to if you want to play it more budget. I still think the scrap stuff gives you a high ceiling play. The only problem with the scrap stuff is it does not play through interruption at all. So just keep that in mind. And then Maximus is crazy because you have 5 good send targets in the extra. Then for the Dinosaur Package, I'm on 1 Quatless, 1 Pankratops, 1 UCT. This is actually pretty interesting because in test hands, I would go Curious, send Quatless, then Curious wants to mill, and so I'll use Quatless to search the Devo pill, and then I would mill the Conductor Tyranno. Now, the chances aren't super high, but if it happens, it really kills your momentum. And so by playing the Pank, it does mean that even if I mill the conductor after searching the pill, I can still pill for Pankratops. Is it as good? Not even close, but it's still like just a Dryden, right? That you're getting to, which is, you know, good in its own right. And the last monster in the main I'm playing is just double Fantasmic. This card feels pretty good versus most matchups out there, and this is kind of one of those decks where you play some high ceiling engines, and you definitely have some bricks. So this is just one of those cards where you put back the bricks, you try and grab more of the engine cards, and just kind of fix your hand up while getting like a big body on the field. Really good versus stuff like Trap Tricks, like those kinds of decks that just struggle with big bodies for free. Then we get to the spells. Okay, for the Spriggan spells, we have 4 copies of the field spell. This card is actually pretty good. It could have been a little better. Another thing in common with Branga, but I might talk about that in the video. We'll see, that I'm making potentially later about Springans. And then you have 2 more cards that search it. So you literally have like 10 copies of the field spell here. Really good. We saw it pretty consistently today. I was not mad about that. Watch is really good. They're really nice. I think they're designed pretty nicely, just because if you already have the field spell, they get you like really good like benefits. Booty's not as good as Watch, but Watch feels really good. You just get so set up with like names engraved. It's really, really nice. There, next up, we have triple Fossil Dig. This card is literally just here to search our Scrap Raptor. Triple copies of Nadir Servant, literally just there to search Ecclesia. I actually did just search the Maximus once today, just because I had Ecclesia in hand, and I couldn't even summon the Ecclesia, but I could summon the Maximus because I had nothing on field. Triple Prosperity. This is not an absolute must-have. I will say today I was like non-stop banishing 3 only. So at that point, I'm kind of like, I don't know if this is fully necessary. You don't have to play 60 cards either. I'm on 60 right now. You could easily probably cut this deck down to like maybe 50 if you really want to trim some of the fat. But yeah, this card was fine today. It wasn't great. I did definitely have some duels that went grindy, and I kind of looked at my extra and I was like, God, I have like 3 cards in extra. It wasn't the best. 1 Devo Pill, don't have to explain that. Just summons UTC or Pank if you're in a pinch. 1 Burial, 1 Monster Reborn for just like generic cards. Never do Reborn. Burial's cool. I saw this in a lot of test hands. This is like really good. It means like you literally could just do like your entire play and then just go like Foolish Burial, send Quatless, get the Devo Pill, boom, make Conductor. Like so free. It's just like a 1-card Conductor in the deck. It's really crazy. And then Reborn, just, you know, reborning, like if you already have a level 4, just reborning something so you can just make a Dweller on top of whatever your board is. Pretty nice. Triple Dark Ruler no more. This was just part of going second stuff. I wanted just high impact stuff. I didn't want to have to play a huge amount of defensive cards. I played like 10, and I saw this like once or twice, and it was actually pretty decent the times I saw it. So it was fine, like no big deal. Double Twin, I wanted some kind of main deck back row removal just in case we did play against something like Mystic Mine, or just like another back row deck that I really just would like to have these. Like maybe you see them in that matchup. It's good, and you also like with the amount of bricks you play, like discarding's no problem at all. Then for the traps, for the Spring and Traps, 1 Blast, 1 Interluder. Blast, I searched it once and it didn't do anything. Interluder I searched once and it also didn't do anything because I believe I had like this and Booty face up Booty, and then I had this set, and my opponent just shotgun Twin Twister, and it was like game 2, and I was kind of just like, shoot, like and my Exceed had 2 materials on it, so I was like, do I really want to send my Exceed back and lose the 2 materials on Merrymaker just to negate I'm saving the Interluder, but I'm losing the Exceed. What's more important? I ended up saving the Exceed because I wasn't sure how much follow-up I had. I think I still won that duel, but still, it was definitely like, yee. Neither of them were particularly great, but I think you still have to play them. 1 Punishment and 1 Schism for like the Dogmatica package / Shut All package. This card won me, I think, 2 duels today. It actually won me a grind game versus Altergeist, right? Like later in the duel, I searched this really late off of a Maximus, and then summoned Winda. He had a Winda pretty easily, and then I just ended up banishing, I think, the Winda and then a Maximus on my field to get a to summon the Construct, and then while also sending I think it was Marionetter. I think Marionetter's the light, which is pretty good. It was pretty clutch a couple times, and then Punishment is Punishment. Came up a couple times. The restriction does kind of get annoying sometimes, but it is what it is. Like, the card's powerful. It's solid. And the last 2 cards in the main, double Imperm, nothing too crazy there. it's like, I don't know. It's fine. I just wanted something like solid, consistent. Imperm feels pretty good right now in the format. All right, then we get to the extra. The extra is not too crazy, but the space is crazy tight. I will say that. Double Merrymaker, 1 X-Blower. I did not resolve X-Blower's effect to pop one single time today. It felt like every time I went into the SPRINGANS engine, turn 1, you almost like have to make Merrymaker just because like you want to get that engine going. Well, actually, I will say also, like it felt like a lot of times, the only times I was going second, and like the only one time I wanted to make X-Blower, I didn't open a Spriggan name. I had to discard like a Spriggan spell. I want to say I discarded Booty just to get him out, just to like, the one time I thought about going in him because he would have been really good, just to like start baiting back row and stuff. And then I just like kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, I don't have a Spriggan monster to equip to him, so it's like literally pointless. You might as well just go Merrymaker just to start getting names in rotation at least. You get the same amount of ability to like tag out, so it is what it is. But yeah, could have been better, but Merrymaker was pretty good. Merrymaker did put in work. I grinded with Phantom Knights pretty well. I grinded with Altergeist pretty well with this card. This card definitely put in work. I just kind of wish I wish like the pure version could hold up, because then I could like play enough like, you know what I mean? I could play enough like fusion monsters in extra deck and like enough Untices and stuff to actually make the deck like able to like really push through and grind like over the longer course of a duel. But because of this version and because we need like the scrap package cards and some of the schism cards, like it just doesn't, we just don't have space. Next up, 1 Vespanado, 1 Dweller. Vespanado should probably be Zeus, but Vespanado did come up once today and was actually pretty good. And I did not make Dweller once today, but like I said before, if you open like Field Spell plus Rocky, that's like 1 card Merrymaker or Explorer plus a rank 4. And so, you know, this was the rank 4 I had. I think this is just the single most impactful rank 4 you can play right now in your main. 1 Scrap Wyvern, 1 Curious. This is the scrap stuff. This card's really crazy. You can send any card in your deck to grave, and then it gets you a mill 3. That actually does come up, because sometimes all you need is to just mill like 1 Spriggan name, and that can be the difference between you getting a double material Merrymaker or not. So, pretty good. And then this card's like crazy. I almost want to play 2 of this, but again, space is super tight. If I could fit 20 cards in the extra deck, like, then I feel way more confident in the deck. 1 Oppo, 1 access code. Oppo's cool because sometimes you make Curious and you just need 1 more body, and you just, once you get access to like your Dino package, you just link off Curious with any 1 monster into Oppo and access code. Came up once today to get a kill in round 1, but other than that, the deck doesn't really link climb. I mean, you're making a lot of Exceeds, but theoretically you can do it, specifically with the scrap engine. Not as much with the Spriggan cards though, but sometimes you just combine them all, and like over the course of a turn or 2 you can make him try and push for game. Then for the fusions, 1 Titaniclad, 1 Sprint. I ideally want to play maybe double Sprint, maybe not double Titaniclad. I feel like I never really wanted double Titaniclad, but yeah, double Sprint would be interesting. And then obviously the App Cologne, the Winda, and the Construct. This was pretty good. I mean, twice it just like won me straight up duels, and then one other time it did come up to like save my ass in the grind game to make that Construct versus Altergeist. And the 1 Intis, this is another one, like if you're going to play the Dogmatica stuff and like maybe even consider playing more punishments or whatever, you might want more than 1 Intis for the grind game. Like I think like multiple times in the grind game, my opponent like wouldn't care about adding Maximus. And so I would just have Maximus to be able to like on field for next turn. I'm like, man, if I just had like another Intis, God forbid 2 Intis, crazy. Like send double Intis off that to pop 2, like that's insane. But unfortunately I'd go through 1 like pretty early because it felt like it was necessary, but then just have no more for the rest of the duel, which is kind of tough, but it is what it is. So that is it there. I would definitely try and find room for Zeus, and other than that, I don't know exactly what I would try and play. I like the idea of double Scrap Wyvern. I like the idea of like still playing Vespanado, because once you get your Merrymaker back or Explorer on your opponent's end phase, you can't use the field spell unless you don't control one of these. So you want to overlay for something, so that does make Vespanado pretty nice to just be able to immediately overlay for Merrymaker on top of Merrymaker, and then be able to like summon out another Exceed to get either another send or just get to Explorer to try and remove things, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, like honestly, the deck's pretty good. I mean, even the better decks I lost to, like I competed, right? Went to time and got a tie versus Altergeist today. Went pushed to game 3 versus Phantom Knights, and that's with losing the die roll. 2-0'd at Emancipator. And what was the last game? Oh, I did get shat on by Sharks, but like Tony, the guy, Tony, he opened like insane twice in a row. Like literally 2 duels in a row. Going second, he opened like double hand trap. I think one duel he opened Buzzsaw Shark. The other duel he opened Beautiful Princess. And also XYZ Remora, which if you don't know is like double Bahamut Toad play with 2 hand traps going second. So it is what it is. I mean, like, shout outs to him. But that was the only duel like I literally didn't stand a chance in. But the other ones grinded really well. The deck plays. The deck has a high ceiling play. You know, you can shut people out with Schism. You can own people with Conductor Tyranno. Wish I got to that part of the package a little bit more often today, but it is what it is. I wouldn't say. I thought like I only bricked like legit once, and that was like the last game against the Shark deck. Other than that, I wouldn't say I really bricked at all today, which is really good. So pretty consistent. But that's going to do it from here today, guys. Of course, do not forget, shout out to 3 Stacks. This idea definitely came from him. He is great. And I'm going to end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not yet and you want to see more stuff from me in the future. Maybe a combo video, maybe a test hand video. I could definitely mess around with some of that stuff if you're interested. But as for today, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.